Commission to order. The first order of business is to review of the December 13th minutes and an approval thereof. Everybody had a chance to look that over. Does anybody have any changes or any modifications?
I move we accept the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. The next order of business is election of 2024 Planning Commission officers. And after talking to Rachel, I think it makes sense, if everybody's in agreement, that we put that off until we have the rest of the group here.
I think so.
Okay, unless there's somebody you'll want to railroad in his absence. So we'll go ahead and do that then. The first order of business then is a petition of Baton Holdings LLC to rezone approximately 892 thousandths of an acre located at 6201 Ford Avenue from I-2 Light Industrial District to B3 Community Business District, and to amend the future land use map from resource conservation to community commercial to allow the use of an existing structure as a restaurant. Rachel?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, members of Planning Commission. As you stated, the purpose of this petition is to allow the use of the existing building as a restaurant. Our future land use map recommends a resource conservation use for this property. These areas are planned to remain in a vegetative open state with limited development. However, this property has been used commercially since 1978. The petition proposes to amend the future land use map to community commercial. Community commercial areas contain retail, personal service, restaurant type uses that draw customers from at least several neighborhoods, the entire city, or the region. Community commercial areas often contain clusters of businesses located at intersections. The existing I-2 Light Industrial District zoning was established in 1978. The building has been occupied by non-conforming restaurant uses in the past. It seems that this building was originally constructed as a restaurant. I think it may have been a Golden Corral at one point, or maybe originally. The building permit for the restaurant was issued in September of 1978, whereas the zoning became effective in December of that same year. So it's not clear exactly what the overlap was there, but it has been a restaurant several times in its lifetime. The petition, since more than 2 years have elapsed since the most recent restaurant use, the non-conforming status has lapsed and rezoning is required to reestablish that use as a restaurant. The proposed use of the property should have limited impact on the area since it's been used this way for a long time. No exterior changes are proposed at this time, and rezoning would allow its return to restaurant and retail type uses. The city's technical review committee reviewed this concept plan on December 19th. Comments were minor in nature, and the planning division recommends approval of the rezoning and the future land use map amendment.
Thank you, Rachel. Is there anybody here to speak in favor of the petition?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Thomas Brooks. I'm with Acres of Virginia Incorporated. We're a land surveying and engineering firm in the city of Lynchburg. We're located at 404 Clay Street. And I'm here today representing Wonton Holdings LLC regarding their request to rezone the property from its current I-2 light industrial status to a B3 general business zone, and to amend the future land use map from resource conservation to community commercial. The rezoning of the request is denoted on their site plan, as you can see on the screen up there. It encompasses 0.892 acres and reference on the city GIS as tax map 155-01006. In 1971, I surveyed this piece of property. At that particular time, I found that a portion of it was on the railroad, and I informed the owners. So the restaurant was built at that time when I did the survey. So this property has been in existence for quite a while. It was built as Golden Corral, and I'm sure many of you had dinner or had lunch there at one time or the other, either there or the one in Madison Heights. The property is located, as she said, at 6201 Ford Avenue, Lynchburg, Virginia, and I want to commend her. She did a great report on this. I read the whole report. Finally, I read them all. Try to get to them anyway. This building was constructed, as I said, before in 1971. It was used for the purpose of a restaurant. Golden Corral moved in there, and we were happy here in Lynchburg to see them move in. They occupied the building until Golden Corral purchased a site over on Wards Road, and then they built a new building over there. Golden Corral rented, when Golden Corral was rented, it moved from there, and it was just leased. The property never was sold to them. It was leased to them by the owner behind there. She just wouldn't sell it to them. When Golden Corral moved on, they moved on to another place on Wards Road, and they've been very successful over there. The purpose of the rezoning is to allow the owners of this property to use this building for a business use, such as a restaurant. They want to get it back into the restaurant zone. All these years, it's set in the I-2 zone, and it's actually been a business zone directly across the street from Crown and Sterling, as we all remember. The owners of this property plan to update the building, plan to put this building into a business use rather than leaving it unoccupied to become an eyesore. So we're requesting today that the Planning Commission forward their request and recommendation to City Council for approval to rezone this property to B3 business. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them at this time.
Thank you. Hold on. So is there anybody else to speak in favor of this petition? Is there anybody who'd like to speak against this petition? The case, discussion being what it is, we'll close the public meeting and go ahead and have you take questions. It'll save you
All right, I might add the owners are with me today.
All right. You can stay up. You can stay up, sir.
I've got a question.
Pardon?
I've got a couple of questions.
Now, this is when the grilling starts.
Yeah, so I see, looks like the railroad technically owns that 5/100 of an acre, as you pointed out.
That belongs to the railroad, and we're in negotiations right now trying to purchase that piece of property from the railroad. The railroad is not easy to deal with. I've been in business. I've been doing this for 60 years, and they don't get any easier to deal with. They are looking at $1 a square foot for the property, which the property owner is willing to pay, but then we've got to go through the process of getting this taken care of through them. So it's a long, drawn-out process. Some places I've seen them not even sell the property. We've purchased quite a bit through other clients in different locations. But like I say, the railroad is difficult to deal with. When they were informed of what was going on, they said they really didn't care if the building was over on them because it wasn't affecting them. I don't know that I don't want to put a restaurant right up under the railroad track anyway. If that train derails, then everyone in there was a goner, but they're very lucky that nothing's ever happened like that over the years.
So the rezoning portion is just for the part that they for sure own. It does not include the overlap railroad piece because that's not under their ownership, and you need the owner's consent to rezone.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we can't rezone the property that belongs to the railroad. We're only rezoning what's inside there. So there actually is an encroachment of the property over onto the railroad land.
So there's a legal encroachment document?
Pardon?
Is there a legal encroachment document anywhere?
Not
the
that
railroad is signed
not that I'm aware of. In 1971, the lady said she was building it, she built it, and the railroad said they didn't really care. That's what they told me.
Well, that kind of gets to, and what Rachel said, the crux of the issue. The rezone affects the area the building actually sits in. The railroad is kind of its own almost a quasi-government entity. They can kind of govern themselves in a lot of things, particularly when it comes to land ownership. Very difficult to deal with, as you pointed out. So I guess the question, I guess it was lingering, which was addressed by Rachel's comment, is there any expected objection by the railroad to
No,
its
there isn't.
rezoning? And
No.
yeah, it doesn't sound like there
They
is.
didn't object then, and they haven't objected over the last, 53 years, so I don't
Yeah.
anticipate them objecting,
never know, does it,
objecting to it now.
The other thing is
Makes me sound old, doesn't it?
yeah, it sounds like this is just a restaurant. What is this going to be?
It's just going to be a restaurant. The owner's here. He can answer that question if you would like a response to that.
Okay.
You want to come up, tell him what you plan to do with this?
Get you on the stage and sign.
Yes, my name is Faiz Malik. I'm the part owner of that restaurant. Your question, what we're planning to do on it, it will be a more restaurant than add some part of it with the C-store, like International Market.
Okay. Okay. So it'll be a store slash rest. Will it be mostly store or mostly restaurant?
Mostly restaurant.
Okay.
Can you sign
Thoughts on that?
and you two
Sure. Okay, sure.
Put your name and address on it. I don't think he's planning on petitioning this off. What he's going to do is just use a restaurant and then have an area where, like these truck stops, where you can go in and purchase certain items and things like that, food and drinks and so forth.
Yes, sir. It might not be the International Market, just an idea. We might add a little bit of that, but mainly like 70% will be restaurant.
Just a full service, dine-in?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm not aware of any convenience stores in that area, to tell you the truth.
But this would be tied, the food stuff would be tied, or the stuff sold in the market would be tied to the menu and the theme of the restaurant?
It will not be tied
Would
with the
not be,
menu.
okay.
So I don't think it's maybe it's something more akin to what you see on Langhorne, or Lincoln, you go down Langhorne, was it the Apple? What is
Yeah,
that?
Apple Market.
Yeah, the restaurant, yeah.
No questions?
Any questions?
No.
My only comment is it looks like this needs to be done to, to use the property, continue using the property, so.
Yes, ma'am. It's just sitting, otherwise it'll be sitting empty and there will
Right.
be no use of it.
Right.
I agree.
I would,
It's time to get that building back in service, rather than leaving it sitting there like that to be occupied, sitting up with that around now. So I think it'd be a great asset to the area with him, and his renovation plans on it. They've got to go into a renovation process. We've been talking about that as well, and get it back in condition. We've agreed to shut down the entrance on the southern side of the property, as you can see, as is recommended by planning. We're shutting that down, and we're leaving that one entrance only on this property, coming in and out, which is right there at the red light. So it's not like it's a traffic hazard, period. The red light is in and out.
Any idea on what the occupancy is? I mean, it's probably too early to tell, but I'm just
Say that
curious.
again.
The occupancy?
The occupancy of the restaurant?
Probably 75 to 100, I would say.
I tell you, I'd have to look at the sign and see what the square footage was.
Relatively
I
small.
know that a lot of people used to eat there.
150.
Oh, 150, okay.
Yeah, that's probably more like it, yeah.
Okay.
Probably got up to 175, 200 sometimes.
It's pretty decent size of building.
It's kind of like churches, you know. Occupancy said 150. On the floor.
Not a
Then it's 200.
Not a nightclub.
Got any other questions?
Any other questions?
No, I don't.
make a
No.
motion to approve this as written?
Second?
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Are there, I guess we should have asked, there weren't any call-ins or anything on that? Okay, good. Sorry about that. All right, motion passes. Good luck with city council.
Thank you very much, appreciate
But
it.
appreciate y'all coming in, appreciate your patience, and appreciate your
Well, you're
insights.
certainly welcome.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank
Glad
you.
we had- Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All right, bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.
Okay. Is there any further business to discuss?
I will just let Planning Commission know that we'll be working to coordinate some work sessions with you for the comprehensive plan. Typically, we would schedule those off your normal meeting days to just be able to focus on the chapters that we will be discussing those days. So right now, we're looking at mainly doing the third Wednesdays in April, June, August, October, December, and January. But you'll be getting some communications as we work to refine those days. And I know we're getting into, vacation season and the summer, and just want to be sure that we'll have enough members to, and of course, we want the full commission if possible on those comp plan dates. So we'll be getting those to you soon. And your next meeting will be February 28th, and we will have an item for that, so plan to attend.
Okay. I was going to ask about that, so thanks. That was my only question. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.